Hi all, this is the MakeHaven badging video for our Makita handheld belt sander. So let's pull this guy out. This is a pretty darn heavy duty belt sander. And what that means is you do need to be pretty careful with it. It's hefty, it also has a lot of power. So if your shirt or anything gets caught up in here, and actually that's happened before, someone was sanding and managed to get their shirt caught in there and they needed a new shirt. Luckily, that's the only new thing they needed after that. Could have been worse. The belts on here are the same size as the belts used on that belt sander. They are 4 inches wide by 24 inch in circumference all the way around. We have them available in the store. You can probably see that this one is totally shot. It's filled with like paint and all kinds of crud. A sander is you're just burning it out when you are using it with dull sandpaper. So there's a saying, you should use sandpaper like it's free. Unfortunately it's not, but you should use it like it is, because otherwise you're just going to burn out the sanders. It just gets wicked hot because it's just friction. It's not cutting anymore. So belt sanders are used when you want to sand a large area flat. They only spin in one direction versus a random orbital sander going every which way. You spin in one direction, so they'll leave lines. They're not good for finish sanding most of the time, but they are good for removing a lot of wood and covering a lot of surface area. We have a little dust port on the top here. Obviously you have to plug a dust extractor into that so we aren't clogging up the air with dust. I'll just point out some other features. Here's a tracking wheel, so you need to make sure that the belt is tracking in the middle. It looks decent right now, but you want it more on the middle of this plate instead of running off to the side, so we'll look at that in a minute. Here is the trigger, so you pull this to make it go, and then if you want it to stay on, you'd pull it and push that button in, and now it stays on until you release it. Then we have the belt release here, so we'll change the belt. We're going to pull this, and that takes the tension off the belt, so now we can slide it off. On the inside of the belts, there are arrows showing which way the belt spins. So it's pointing this way, and then there are arrows here showing which way the belt spins. Obviously, make sure that lines up. So we'll grab a new piece of sandpaper. This is from the store in the back. Sandpaper goes in a range of grits from a small number, maybe as low as 40, which means that there are fewer grits per square inch, but they're bigger, so it takes off more wood. And a higher number, all the way up into the thousands, means there's many, many grits per square inch, which makes it take off very little material. You always need to move sequentially through the numbers. So you'll start at a small number and then move your way up. If you started, say, at 100 and then jump to 300, you're trying to like polish something that's scratched. And so it'll not take out the scratches. You need to go from 100 to 120 to 180 to 220. You need to move up through the numbers slowly so that you can slowly get your way to the level of finish that you're looking for. So we'll slide this on, making sure we're checking the arrows. The arrows are pointing this way, and so we'll line it up with the arrows on the side of the machine. Slide it on back and forth, and then once it is on there, release this lever. It's got a big old spring in there, so be careful. Actually, wasn't all that springy. Alright, and now we'll plug it in to see the tracking. So I'm going to not have my hand on this when I plug it in. And I'm just going to plug this in to the power outlet coming from the ceiling. Alright, so we're going to turn this on, holding it away from me. And it looks like we need to go over this way. So I'm going to try to do this so you can see it. So I'll turn this over. And now you can see that it's riding right in the middle. So I just turn this a little bit, teensy little adjustments at a time are all that it takes. Don't go cranking on it. And you need to do it while it's spinning. If you turn it now and then pull the trigger, it's just going to fly somewhere. No good. And actually, this can cut through the machine. So if you push too far this way, it'll literally, you can see it started to cut a little bit through the housing of the machine. So definitely don't do that. All right, so in terms of using this, We covered dust. You need to make sure that it stays really flat. The big risk with using this to your workpiece, not to you, is that you tilt a little bit one way or the other, and then the sandpaper just gouges right in. It'll just leave a big old gouge in your workpiece, so you don't want that. So make sure it stays nice and flat. You want to move around. If you sit in one spot, it's just going to dig right in, so make sure to keep moving all around, so you aren't just sitting. It's very heavy. You don't have to push, push down. It will let the weight do that work for you. And then as soon as you notice that the wood isn't coming off anymore, stop, feel the sandpaper, and if it's all crudded up, then it's time to put a new piece on. There is this silicone block, so you can turn this on like this. And run it across the surface. Make sure it's angled the right direction, so it's dragging across. And this will help to clear out some of the sawdust. But the reality is, it's a consumable and you'll have to replace it. So I just grabbed this piece of scrap wood. This is not a terribly realistic thing that you would sand with a belt sander. Normally you do something bigger, but you'll get the idea. Dust goes on here. We'll just shove it right in the end there. You can put some tape on if that makes it easier. If you want, you can plug the tool directly into this plug in the front of the dust extractor. And then when you set it to tool mode, it'll turn on, the vacuum will turn on when the tool turns on. I'm just going to turn this on normally instead of messing with that. Then you'll see this clothy material. This is a grippy material, so this helps hold the material down when you're sanding, so that's nice. I'll also turn this dust collector on, and this is connected to the downdraft table, so it'll pull any extra dust that escapes this down here and into this dust collector. So it'll be noisy. I'll turn this on, turn this vacuum on, turn the sander on, and then quickly just show sanding this piece. Notice how I had to clamp this down because this guy's so strong and the grippy stuff isn't grippy enough. So, normally you'd be doing a bigger thing, but if you have to clamp your workpiece, then so be it. Normally you want to go with the grain when you're sanding so that the sanding marks aren't quite so visible. Here I went against the grain, and it's not terrible because this is a relatively high grit, but if you look closely, you can see the marks versus if I went with the grain. Something else is that you saw I was moving around quite a bit, not sitting in one spot, because if I did, it would just start going straight down. And then between the dust collector and this dust extractor, we got all the dust. There's no dust in the air. It didn't feel like a dusty experience, which it obviously can become very quickly if you aren't doing a good job of collecting the dust. So that's about all there is to it with this big Makita belt sander. The sanding belts are, I think, about $1 in the store. So, make sure to get them as you need them so you aren't burning this thing out. We've definitely, the past belt sander was actually caught on fire because someone was using sandpaper that was totally dull and they just kept pushing until the thing overheated and caught fire. So let's not do that. Just make sure to put on new sandpaper when you need to. So thanks for watching and have fun.